Christabel, this is the poem we would discuss today, and this poem is written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This is his very famous poems, as his other poems are like Ancient Mariner or Kubla Khan. Now, this poem is about Christabel, the central character of this poem. Christabel is a young, beautiful woman. She's a daughter of a nobleman, and she's living in a castle of her father, and she is engaged, and she's praying for her beloved, and she goes into an oak tree and she's walking under an oak tree, and there she meets another character of this poem, and this character is Geraldine. Geraldine is a woman who Christabel finds in night under the oak tree, and Geraldine tells her that she is in a great distress and she has been kidnapped by a group of men who had treated her badly, and she is all alone. And Christabel, as the very name suggests, Christ means Christ, the son or a daughter of a Christ, or one who believes in Jesus, or one who believes in God. She is very kind, and she takes Geraldine to her castle, and there, when she is taking her to her castle, we as readers come to know that something supernatural or something sinful is there in the air, and there are sounds of birds screeching, there are sounds of animals howling, and they are sort of a warning to Christabel that she should not take this bad spirit to her castle. And then this lady Geraldine, she is there with Christabel, and she is there in her bedroom. She's going to sleep with Christabel on the same bed, and we have another shocking scene when Geraldine undresses, and when she undresses, Christabel sees something which is very shocking, or sees something which is unusual to her holy eyes, something unusual to her eyes which are accustomed to seeing things which are good, or things which are all bright. But Geraldine has nothing to reveal or to present anything which is holy. So we as readers come to know that there is something which is impure, unholy, or supernatural about this woman who has come to Christabel's house. And then we have this scene where she's undressing, and suddenly even Coleridge creates an atmosphere which is quite nervous, and which we as readers also find something shocking, or something very disturbing, or something very plaguing to our senses. Now this treatment of nature, or this treatment of surroundings was very common with Coleridge, and he used to take images from different areas. He used to create a gothic atmosphere everywhere, and then there were areas of desolation, then there were haunted castles, then there were unknown regions, and then there were damsels who were in distress. There were animals who were associated with something supernatural. Then there were natural scenes which were treated in a very sordid or dark way, and they gave an impression of something unnatural. Like you have howling dogs, then you have ticking clocks. The whole atmosphere which is there in Christabel is something which is above our natural senses. It's something which is natural. And then we have various themes of lust, themes of misuse of power, themes of misuse of money, themes of ending of dreams, themes of people mistreating each other. Then in Christabel we have Christabel, who is very innocent, but she has been overpowered by Geraldine, who visits her and who is somewhere trying to snatch her innocence. Christabel, Geraldine and Christabel, they appear to be same, but they are not same. They appear to be same physically, but Geraldine is not innocent as Christabel is, and she is treated as some witch or some vampire, or all the negative aspects of a personality, or which are very hideous or which are very sinful aspects of a personality. Now these characters, they were treated this way by Coleridge, and he highlighted the various features of these characters, and sometimes he used to hint about their eyes, or sometimes used to hint about their spell, or sometimes used to hint about how these characters would overpower or would try to influence or cast a spell over good characters and make them work under pressure or make them work under their influence. Now in this Christabel also, it is evident in the poem itself, because we see that how there is a crowing cock, and there is a howling bitch, how the number 3, the digit 3 has been used again and again. Then and all these negative connotations make the reader feel very uneasy, and there is a dread, or there is a discomfort created everywhere. And even Coleridge is warning the readers, just is warning Christabel, is warning the readers also that something unnatural is going to take place, and then he's somewhere inviting or calling the mother of Christabel, who is her guardian spirit, who is taking care of her, who is not living anymore, and she has been called, and she has been called to protect Christabel. And then we say that Geraldine is somewhere so overwhelming, and she's dressed in white robe, but her exterior is different from her interior. She does not have good intentions, and she's going to victimize Christabel. She's going to harm Christabel, and we as readers are sympathetic. We have our full sympathies for Christabel, and we want that Christabel she gets rid of this evil spirit, or she gets rid of this evil influence, and but nowhere we could find that there is a relief, or Geraldine has left that place, and she's very much there. And the theme that evil requires an assistance of someone who is very innocent, that theme is there. Christabel is innocent, and Geraldine is taking help of, or taking assistance of Christabel. And then we have everywhere we could see that Geraldine has been treated as some spirit. She has nowhere we get a direct or a concrete picture of Geraldine as how she looks. Even in the scene where she's undressing and Christabel looks at her, we are not told what exactly she sees. We simply know that she has seen a mark, or she has seen something which has disturbed her. but we do not know exactly how Geraldine looks, or what, how is she ugly, or is she horrible, or does she possess a demonic face. We do not know, we are not told. We live only in an atmosphere where we fear that something wrong or something sinful is going to take place. And then we have Christabel, who is there, but she's almost inactive once Geraldine enters the castle, and she's not acting much, and she's not taking a proactive step to remove Geraldine from there. Then we feel, or we want as readers, that some supernatural force should come or interfere, like the mother of Christabel, and she should be there to take care of Christabel. And Christabel also in herself is so honest or so holy that we as readers, we want that Christabel should know her competence, and she should get rid of Geraldine on her own as well. Now, treating natural aspects in a supernatural way was very common with Coleridge, but he had this was his style. We can say it was his style, but at the same point of time, he had some message to convey. In the disguise of this style, he somewhere wanted to convey that nature, in its natural way, in its own way, or in its basic way, is something to be enjoyed, or something to be shared with all of us, or among the humanity. But at the same point of time, if you want to go into a direction which is not natural, or which is dehumanizing of nature itself, or which is in a form of a garb, or which distances a poet from reality, or which distances a common human being or normal human being from reality or from art, that garb should be removed. This was a basic introduction to the poem Christabel, and in times to come we would be talking at length about various aspects of this poem. So for today, I would expect from you that you would also go into the introduction of the poem, and you can take help of my lecture, and you can further read on your own as well. Thank you.